Hey there, my name is Joshua Fortuna. I am a Texas-based DP, and much like other people around me and in my industry, I often use a diffusion filter over my lens. It's just to take the digital sharpness edge off of the final look and just give an extra little like kick and kiss to the image. Early on, I was referenced to use Black Pro Mist, and like that's the best one. And I just never kind of doubted a friend that's told me that. And so like I used it, I loved it, and it was great. I used it in different strengths for different projects. The only thing is, as a artist and as a person with taste and like wants and needs, I just didn't like the fact that I took this one piece of advice and ran with it. It kind of bugged me at some point. And so I rented a few different diffusion filters that Lens Pro To Go had. I got the Black Pro Mist, I got the Black Satin, and the Schneider Hollywood Black Magic, just to kind of see what these different diffusion filters do. And if I like Black Pro Mist the most, then at least I know this. So I made this test to kind of see the differences between the filters and figured maybe there's somebody else out there that wants to know this information as well. So here's my test. I shot it on my red Komodo using Red Code RAW at HQ, and I had the Atlas Orion 40mm anamorphic lens shooting at T2.8 for the wides and T4 on the tight shots. And this is just a pretty quick overview of each of these filters at 1/4 strength. I know Tiffin has this really long, comprehensive video showing every one of their filters at every one of their strengths. And I watched that, and it's just like kind of hard to wrap your head around. And like, I wanted this filter compared to this filter compared to this filter, and like, it's just kind of hard to get that without just picking those filters up and putting them side by side. So hopefully this answers some questions for you guys. And so yeah, let's just get into this test. All right, so here's the first test, and upon reviewing, I already know what everyone's thinking, and I'm thinking the same thing, is why the did I do this on an anamorphic lens? It's already got its own crazy characteristics. It's not a very clean image. I should have used something like the Sigma Cine primes. At least it's side by side and we can see comparatively what it does. So first up, we have the Black Pro Mist filter, and immediately you can see exactly what it does. It brings down the highlights, it brings up the shadows, and just kind of, it's a low contrast filter. Here you can see how the lights bloom kind of around my fingers. Next up is Tiffin Black Satin. Something that I noticed about this that's different than Black Pro Mist is that Black Pro Mist takes down the highlights and brings up the shadows. Black Satin seems to only bring down the highlights, which I thought was a really interesting effect. Again, you can see how it's blooming around my fingers. And then last is the Schneider Hollywood Black Magic. And I think the Schneider Black Magic and the Tiffin Black Satin are basically the exact same filter. There's very, 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 very minute differences. But they both just bring down the highlights and bloom them and don't really affect the shadows as much, especially compared to the Black Pro Mist. All right, I hope this was able to shed a little bit of light and give you a little bit of insight to a couple of these filters. Maybe you had these questions, or maybe you thought like, is there something else other than Black Pro Mist? And there is, so go and test some out. And if you feel like getting some other ones from a local shop, I just got whatever Lens Pro to Go had. I just wanted to see them all next to each other. I encourage you to keep questioning and don't just take advice at face value. So this is not advice, it's just information. So take it for what it is. Oh, just some like general YouTube housekeeping rules, whatever. I think a couple people on my last video, which was a long time ago, smashed the like button because everyone's like, oh, smash the like button. But the like button, I think, stopped working. That's why there's not very many likes and not very many views. So just like if you want to, gently tap the like button or click the like button depending on what you're using and watching this on. So yeah, just go in peace. All right. That was fucking terrible. What else?